Hello, Hilltop. It's Mr. Amici again. Thanks for clicking to the next tile. So now we're going to talk about striking skills for the sports of badminton and tennis. Raise your hand if you've heard of badminton or tennis. If you were at Hilltop last year, we spent a unit practicing our tennis and badminton, and we all had such a great time. If you're new to Hilltop, or maybe you're not remembering it from last year, that's okay, because we'll talk about it now, and you'll get a chance to practice some of these when we're back at Hilltop. Now, tennis and badminton are both played with a racket. A racket is a stick that has like a paddle on it or a surface for you to hit the ball. So instead of using your hands or your feet like you would in soccer or in volleyball, you would use a racket or a paddle. I'm going to show you how to make your own paddle at home today. What I've got here is a paper towel tube. You could use that wrapping paper tube that we talked about. You could use a toilet paper tube. It'd be a little bit smaller. But any kind of long cylinder tube like this would work as our handle. And let's pretend this is all you have to use. You can still use just the handle to strike the ball or the balloon or that Ziploc bag filled with air. And that would help improve your tracking and striking skills. So if all you have to use is a paper towel tube or any kind of tube like our pool noodle, you would be just fine practicing with this. So you could practice hitting back and forth with one hand, practice hitting back and forth with the other hand. You could do skills like hit it up, turn and try to hit. So a lot of those things we practiced with our scarves last week, similar, like I could hit it up in the air, clap under my legs, try to hit again. I could hit it up in the air, clap twice, and go again. I could hit it in the air, touch the floor, and hit. So all those things we tried last week with our scarves, hit it up, head, shoulders, knees, toes, hit again, whoa, and try to catch it. So try to set different challenges for yourself, things you can hit it and then maybe hit it, switch hands, and hit again. Hit, switch hands. So back and forth, because we want to practice with both hands of our body so we can get nice and skilled with this. So if you just have the tube, you can practice those. You could even put it down on the floor. Let me get my basket goal out again. And this would be a lot like hockey then, because in hockey you use a stick and you hit the object into the goal. What you could do is keep your balloon or your bag down on the floor and you could hit it back and forth and then try to hit into the goal. It scores! Now remember, the balloon or the bag are fragile, so we don't want to hit or press down too hard because we don't want to pop them. But so if you want to try some hockey skills, hitting these back and forth around, and then try to hit it into your goal. Oh, just missed it. You can do that. But if you want to make it a real deal racket, here's what you can do. Who recognizes this? This looks just like those frisbees that we made out of cardboard a few weeks ago. And remember, I had mentioned maybe keep some of these so we could use them another time. Watch what I'm going to do to turn a frisbee into a paddle. And if you don't have a frisbee made from the last time, you can have a piece of cardboard and cut it into a circle. Remember, I had that big bowl that I put down. I traced around it and then I cut a circle with it. Followed my line that I made from the bowl and cut that circle. So you can do that yourself right now and pause the video. Or if you already have one ready, that's great. But what do? How am I going to attach this to this? Because I'm going to make it into a paddle or a racket to use. You'll need one more piece of equipment, and that is scissors. Because what I did, let me get it zoomed in, is I took my scissors and I cut a little slit on one side, about 2 or 3 inches down, and then directly across, I cut another little slit in my paper towel tube. See how I only went down to about there? Because what I can do now, I take my thin cardboard frisbee and I can, let me get that in there so you can see it. I wiggle it between, and look what I've made here. Now I've got a handle, and I've got a nice flat surface for me to try to strike my balloon or my bag or whatever I'm using as my lightweight floatable item. Now say I swing this really hard, it could come off. So what you can do is you can cut these further down. That will help hold it. You could also get a stapler. I've got a little stapler here. And that's okay that this bent right there a little bit. Now that the ends are slit or cut like that, you can kind of squeeze them flat. And I'll staple this side. Okay, so now I've got it attached. Look at me. And I can take my balloon. I'm going to hold the handle. And I can practice some of those same skills I was working on. But now I'm using a paddle. Isn't that fun? So I can hit it with, maybe I'll use my right hand, switch to my left, and I'll hit back and forth. And if you would like to, you could set up a boundary with a friend or a relative, whoever is at home with you, and you could practice hitting it into a basket. However, when you play the sport or the game of badminton or tennis, when you use a racket or a paddle, the goal is to hit it over a net to the other side where the other team is playing. So I'm going to lay this long ways like this, and we're going to pretend this is an invisible wall. So I can't go on the other side of this wall, but I want to try to hit it to the other side to my partner, and they try to hit it back to me. I'm going to have my friend join me. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. I'm going to hit it over to my friend. And they probably won't hit it back to me today, but we can pretend. So I can toss it up. And serving is what it's called when you hit it over for the first time. That's what starts our game of hitting back and forth. So there's two different ways that I can two different ways I can serve. I can overhand serve like you just saw me. Very similar to the spike or the slam in volleyball where you toss it up and your hand is up over your head and you strike it and you push forward. So that's my overhand serve. I swing the paddle or racket over my head and push the ball or the balloon forward. There's also an underhand serve. This should be easy for us because it's very, very similar to our underhand rolling and tossing. Remember when we practiced that a few weeks ago? So you have your hand down by your side, you're stepped forward with your opposite leg, swing, 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 and now I'm holding a paddle in my hand, not the ball, because I'm actually going to hit the ball with my paddle. So what I'm going to do is I've got the ball in one hand, my paddle or racket in the other. I bring it across my body, and all I do with this arm is swing straight up and forward, just like we've practiced with our underhand rolling and tossing. Again, watch that. So it's not I toss it on this side, I have to bring this arm across, and I'm going to do a couple small touches so I know that my paddle or racket is lined up with my balloon or my plastic bag. And all I do with this hand is just let go of the balloon or the ball as I swing up and forward with this one. And I will get my balloon to go up and forward. So did you watch my whole body on this one? Because I love teaching tennis and badminton. It's one of my favorite sports to play. And so I see this all the time with friends. We get super excited to hit our ball, and our bodies lose control. Keep your body under control. Bring the ball across, and I just swing upward with this arm. This is the only part of my body that's moving. So I don't throw my body to the side and toss the ball up and jump and close my eyes. You got to stay nice and calm and relaxed. Focus. Watch the ball across your body. A couple practice touches to see that your paddle face or the circular part of your paddle is going to touch the ball or the balloon. And I swing up and forward, and I just let go of the balloon with this hand. See how nice and relaxed I kept my body? That way, I get a nice controlled serve over the net, and I can be ready for the other person to hit it back. Now, when we're standing waiting for that ball or balloon to come back to us, we want to have our feet open, our knees slightly bent, so that way, whichever way we have to travel to try to hit that ball or balloon back, I'm able to keep my balance and change directions quickly. If I'm standing legs straight, feet together, and I try to move real quick, it's going to be tougher for me. So again, I'm practicing this on my own, but if you're lucky enough to be playing with a family member or a brother, sister at home, practice trying to hit them back and forth to each other without the ball touching the ground. So again, if you don't have the cardboard to make the paddle part, that's okay. You can just hit with the paper towel tube. Say you're playing with a partner and you only have one of these, take turns, share, right? So maybe you get to play for a few minutes using the paddle, and then the friend or the brother or sister that you're playing with, then they get a turn. So we want to make sure to share this equipment so everybody gets a chance. And you could do our same bump game with the paddle. You could practice your serving, overhand serve, into the basket, and you can practice that underhand serve into the basket. Ah, he scores! Now, friends, you should still have a few minutes of PE left to try some of these on your own, and I hope you've been practicing with me. I look forward to seeing you back in Hilltop sometime soon, so we can get started learning some skills and other educational things together, like how to help keep our bodies nice and healthy. We've been doing a great job during remote learning. Let's keep it going. I hope you enjoyed our striking lesson. Remember, that's sports like hockey, volleyball, tennis, baseball. Baseball. Now remember, what baseball is kind of like the bat. So if you're just using the tube today, you could use that. We'll talk more about baseball another time. There's so many rules for fun things to do in baseball. And then again, our other sports for our paddle would be badminton and tennis. So please practice these today. I hope you enjoy them. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Go Hawks! Bye, everybody.